We're about to perform a highly scientific experiment to determine if color or shape is the strongest holiday indicator. It's not quite a double-blind, placebo-controlled study, but it's close. Hey Seth.
What?
When would be the best time for me to give someone this present?
Probably Christmas.
Why's that?
It has a picture of a Christmas tree on it.
Ah, okay. Well, so far things are not going according to my hypothesis. Let's see if Audrey knows her stuff. Hey Audrey, can you get the Valentine's present? Yeah, get the Valentine's present. Yeah! Good job, you got it. Hey, it's Carrie at Ink Hill Revival. We're on week 2 here of the Spooktacular Series. It's all about making Halloween cards with 0 Halloween supplies. If you missed the first episode, it's linked below. But how's it going for you? Is it fun? Is it challenging? I'm really liking it because I like to feel clever. And coming up with these cards with limited supplies, it makes me feel clever. But today, I have lots of ideas for you all about color. Take any old stamp that you have, pair it with the right colored pencils, markers, inks, or colored paper, and bam, you've got a Halloween card. Okay, I love the concept of taking your regular supplies and using them for Halloween. So let's take a look at this donut set. By using some Halloween colors and one of those free printable sentiments over at Ink Hill Revival blog, we've got Trick or Treat Yourself, all because of those colors there. We have this set that becomes a Happy Halloween card with the addition of a black and orange blanket throw over the back of that couch. And inks, here we are going so far as to use a Christmas set, these Christmas ornaments, and just by using some Halloween inks, Halloween colored inks, and again, one of those free printable sentiments, totally a Halloween card. You probably saw those that spider paper. You could even stamp on spider paper instead on the free printables and increase your Halloween-ness of your card. Right here we've got black and white piñata, and you can use a fun pun like have a sweet Halloween or the perfect mix of spooky and sweet, and by using one of your birthday sets with some Halloween inks, you have a complete Halloween looking card. So on this card, we are going to be using the Greeting Farm Be a Unicorn stamp set to have some candy corns. And to do that, using the paper, I need to cut some candy corn strips out of my candy corn colors. I'm going to take a measurement on the size of these unicorns. They're about 1 3/4 inches, and cut up 3 strips of paper to fill that 1 3/4 inches. So now I have these 3 strips, each of which I ended up cutting to about 3/4 of an inch thick, and that's because it was just the easiest measurement, the smallest measurement I could get on my paper trimmer. And it will fill the space perfectly anyways, just a little extra on each side. So now I have some Nina Desert Storm 100-pound cardstock, and I am creating my card base. On this card base, our concept is that we want to use a tape runner to create this line of candy corn colors, where we will stamp our candy corns. Okay, so at this point I can take and trim off just the little bits that were too long hanging over. And this is paper from Recollections 200 pack of colored paper. Okay, now for this project, I definitely want to pull my Misty out because with the variation and texture kind of between these different pieces of paper, I just want to be sure that I get like full stamping. I may need to double stamp this if it doesn't stamp well on the connection point between the different pieces of paper. Okay, so I just want to get those unicorns placed so that they have a little bit of each color, or a pretty even spread of each color. I'm going to be stamping these unicorns with Gina K's Onyx Black ink, and this is my favorite black ink. It stamps the most solid. Usually I can get away with a nice solid finish on the very first attempt. We'll see how it does on this multiple pieces of paper. Okay, so I'm gonna go once more at that. You can see that yellow piece of the candy corn didn't get pressed quite as hard, and that is probably because my orange and white paper are popping up just a bit more, maybe slightly overlapping. So let me press really good in the center, and thank goodness for the Misty because we can do double stamping. So take advantage. So there is our candy corns. This is a great technique for a quick and easy card because look at all that coloring. Done lightning quick. Okay, we're ready to stamp the sentiment on our card. And I am going to be using Lawn Fawn's Violet's ABCs here. And I love Lawn Fawn's alphabet sets because they're so nice to lay out. They just nestle right together. They have very thin borders on each set, so you can get your letters close together as if this just were a stamp. They're nice to line up right on the bottom line of these Lawn Fawn acrylic blocks. Again, I'm using Gina K's Onyx Black ink, and there we go. A quick and easy Halloween card made with unicorns. Okay, for this next card, we are going to be continuing on with our candy corn theme, but this time we'll be using the Pink and Main Cattitude stamp set. And these guys are going to be catty corn. So the thought is that we will have 3 cats, one in each color. I think we'll go with a large, a medium, and a small, just to resemble that appearance of candy corn being large and orange at the bottom, getting a little smaller and smallest up at the white part. Okay, so now it is time to cut these Cattitudes out. I don't have any dies, so I will be doing a little bit of fussy cutting here. Okay, so at this point we've got our 3 cats cut out, and a nice trick when you fussy cut something, but not quite perfectly because is it ever, is to run a brush marker. I'm using a Memento black marker, the brush side, and just run it along the edges, and that makes your stamping, your cutting, look like you were right to the edge of the stamp. Okay, so we are ready to get our catty corn sentiment stamped on here. So I will be using Versamark ink. It's a nice sticky ink, and I will be using Hero Arts white embossing powder. Let me switch that. There we go. And I have my white embossing powder in a Tupperware from the dollar store. So let's first prep this paper with an anti-static powder tool. We'll do that so that the embossing powder does not stick all over this black paper. Okay, I'm stamping this right against the edge because I am going to cut this into as thin a strip as possible so that it doesn't take up too much space on the card. All right, let's get this white embossing powder on here. Okay, if you have a little bit in the wrong place, you can just use paintbrush to get it off. I'm using my heat tool now to melt this embossing powder. You want to be sure to let that tool run for a bit so it heats up before you use it. That'll prevent your paper from warping too much. Okay, once that embossing powder's dry, we can brush off the excess powder. And let's get this catty corn sentiment cut into a thin strip, as thin as these letters will let us. Okay, I'll use a tape runner to attach the sentiment strip, just to keep it flush with the card. And I'm going to pop our catty corns up with some foam tape. Okay, I've got the foam tape on, and I definitely have a favorite cat. Easiest. Okay, I like where I have those cats all placed, so I hadn't pressed them down yet, but now I can. And there's our catty corns. If you want to jazz that up, might be fun to put on some black sequins, but you know, I kind of like this simple, modern look, so I'm sticking to it. So this makes a fun set together, and both of them are your run-of-the-mill stamps, right? Cats, unicorns. Well, you know what, I was gonna say totally not Halloween, but I guess cats are Halloween. But these don't look like Halloween cats, so it's okay. But it's fun, totally Halloween because of our paper choice. So it's all about color.